Well, hello, Las Vegas. It is Monique Buchanan, the host of the Welcome Home with Monique show. And I have another great show for you guys today. Now, you guys know I always say that real estate is not just about finding a house, it's about finding a home and building community. And sometimes you come across clients who become more than just clients, they become your friends. So that's who I have on today. I'm excited to introduce to you guys Cheryl and Lou Brewster. They're not only esteemed doctors, they're also world travelers who have made their mark right here in one of Las Vegas's neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. And we have one of their properties, honey, you heard me, not their only one of their properties in that neighborhood. And I told them, I said, hey guys, who can share the experiences of this community better than the sellers, right? The people that actually live there. So that's why we're going to have Cheryl and Lou, who reside in Spanish Trails. Yes, here in the Las Vegas Valley. And I'll say it one more time, one of their properties.
Yes.
And they're going to go ahead and share with you guys what it's like living in that community,
right?
Why they chose that community.
Okay.
And they, in fact, let me just be quiet and let them tell you their stories. First of all, what brought... Oh, well, hello. Hi, Lou. How are you?
How are you doing? Thank you for inviting us out. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you guys have been listening to me for years, so you guys know I'm a hot mess, but a good one.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
And hello, Miss Cheryl. How are you?
Hello, Monique. I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for having us.
So let me just share this. Cheryl actually is the first one that reached out to me years ago. And she said, Mo, I've been listening to your show, and you sound like I could probably trust you.
Yes. That's where
I
it
can
started.
hear you crazy, but I feel like I could probably trust you.
Literally.
And that's when we started to purchase the homes. They trusted me. I was so honored and humbled. You guys were moving from New York, I believe, right?
No, we were actually moving from Miami.
Oh, Miami, that's right.
During COVID.
Good times.
Yes. Remember those times? Yes.
So I'll let you guys jump on into it. What brought you to Vegas?
So I guess the first thing would be our jobs. So
Right.
we are both working for Roseman University, and we are in the process of starting a med school, and we have our inaugural class that begins on July 21st.
Nice.
And so we have accomplished what we set out to do by starting a med school in the area, which, I don't know if your listeners know, but Nevada is considered medically underserved. There is a shortage of primary care physicians, of all healthcare professionals, but in particular family physicians as well as specialties. So we are trying to do our part to increase the number of active physicians in this community because we all need healthcare.
Absolutely. And you guys, before we got on air, me and Cheryl were talking. A lot of my listeners know that my father has moved in with me since I lost my mother during COVID. And I struggle. I thought, she's like, Monique, that's not normal. Because I'm like, I thought it was normal to wait 2 and 3 months for a doctor's appointment.
No, not at all. Not, sadly, it's not. And I echo everything Cheryl said, but I would probably add a couple other things because it wasn't just about starting a medical school and addressing the shortage. It was also trying to create a complementary medical school to the one that we already have here throughout the state.
Okay. Yeah.
And, one of the things, we're looking to do is to provide, like in any great economy, options, right?
Right.
Because options afford a little something for everyone. And so, as you mentioned, like, your dad, right? So we operate a unique medical school from the standpoint of we require all of our medical students to do home visits as a core part of their training.
Yeah.
Hands-on.
Yeah,
Yes,
and so from the moment that they arrive, they are assigned to 2 households that have medical needs. And then they are required to work with those 2 households throughout their 4 years of training. And the hope is that they'll work to improve the social and the health outcomes of those families that they've been assigned to. And so what this is really about is I want you to imagine a medical school that is constantly giving back to the community through its service while it is training your future doctors. So, sadly, Nevada doesn't have a lot of individuals who apply to medical school. And that's usually the crop that will stay more likely in your community after they finish. And so on the magnificent work that my wife Cheryl does related to cultivating the talent here locally is part and parcel of trying to change that phenomena. But the other element is getting them from day one to understand and appreciate the value of giving back to their community.
Yeah.
And so, it's a lot more motivating and inspirational to help your community when you've already been doing it for 4 years and you feel connected to them and feel a part of them. And so that was the other element to what we do. And so it's ironic that, that we're on the show, Welcome Home.
Yeah.
And really at the end of the day, our medical school is rooted in helping people thrive in their homes.
I love that.
That's at the core of what we do.
That's amazing. And I think that would, help get rid of the whole feeling like you're cattle when you go to.
I was going to say, I think that makes a big difference.
A personal
when dealing
touch.
with somebody in the medical community.
Like you said, if I've already been going to my patients' homes, and I'm meeting their families when I go into their homes.
Right.
You
have
know
a
what I
bond.
mean?
You have a bond there.
Well,
Right.
you kind of sort of mentioned it a little bit, right? We can't just treat your father. We have to also think about his home environment.
Yeah.
We have to think about all the people in that unit.
Right.
He doesn't exist in a bubble.
Right.
And so everything has to center around him, but also that family unit.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have a person that has dementia. It's like, we have to be able to assess, are there stairs? Are there things that could put him into? So it's more of a holistic approach to healthcare rather than just treating the individual. That individual goes home to somebody, hopefully, right? And they go home to a family, and that family has to also live in that same environment and manage whatever's going on with the health of that individual.
Right. And let me tell you, I'm blessed. And I'm thankful that God has given me an opportunity to do this for my father.
Right.
But it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It is.
Definitely a
It
lot
is.
being a caretaker.
So it's nice to know that there's, doctors that you guys are getting out there that have that heart, you know, and that have that experience already for going out there. So, and I know that the show, we're going to get into our listing, but this is just so intriguing to me.
Yes.
Like, this touches home base for me.
Right.
If there's people listening right now and they only have ever heard of UNLV's program,
Right.
You guys have Roseman University. How about cost? Is there a little bit
course.
around the same, or how's
well,
the cost?
medical school is expensive
Anywhere.
hands down,
Of course.
anywhere. And so you have to take that into account. However, I will always tell a medical student this, and they have never proven me wrong. I've never met a medical student that has not been able to pay off their student debt.
That's good. That's true.
And there are many programs that allow them to work in their home communities, because most kids that are living in Nevada come from what is a medically underserved community,
Right.
that will help them repay their loans.
Oh, that's good to
So
know.
when you work in either a rural area or an urban area that is considered medically underserved,
Okay.
you can get almost 50% of your loans repaid by serving 5 years. So imagine a kid that grew up here, goes to med school here, any university med school, and they go off, they do their residency, and they come back, and they're like, I'm going to come back and serve in my community.
My
you
own
spend
community.
5 years here working in your home community.
doctor, as a physician.
You get 50% of your loans paid.
50%.
That's crazy.
And I bet
That's
there's a bunch of listeners out there that did not know that. Thank you, Cheryl. So if you guys have kids or anybody that are kind of shying away from it, we need them.
Yeah, we definitely
And she
need
just
them.
dropped a nugget, Miss Brewster, honey, from Roseman University.
I can
Just
imagine
dropped
that
a
deters
nugget.
a lot of people from thinking about going that route
Yes.
because you just keep hearing the never-ending stories of, oh my gosh, my student loans, my student debt.
And then as real estate agents, we have to turn. It just makes me so sad to see kids or people do the right thing, go down the right path, and then I have to turn them away.
Right.
And tell them because of their student debt. So that's huge, Cheryl. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for dropping that nugget. I know we got a little off topic, but it was worth it.
We like to learn things on this show.
Roseman University
Yes.
for medical, like she said, any university, but you're
Yes.
hands-on.
We are.
And
We are
you're,
definitely
say,
in the
hey,
community.
stay in your community.
We are.
Get
We are
that-
trying to grow our own.
Yes, I love
Right?
that.
Homegrown.
I love
and when you don't have a lot of students that are interested in this, you have to create ways and spaces for them to engage.
Yes.
And that's what we do. And then we want to keep them going in that path, in that journey into a medical school. Not everyone wants to be a doctor. I get that. But we have options. We have pharmacy. We have dental medicine. We have nursing. We have so many options that kids can go into. And that's part of educating them about choice. Where he said options. When kids don't know their options, they only think, oh, I have to be a doctor.
And that's it.
But we have options.
There you go.
Everyone has options.
I love it. I love it. And thanks for sharing some of those options. So Roseman University brought you guys here.
They did.
They did.
Why? Now, how did you guys even know about Spanish Trails? Because I'm not even going to take credit for that. They called me and I had already picked out Spanish Trails.
So, so this one is kind of interesting. So when we were initially looking around, a colleague of ours told us about this area, Spanish Trails, and but he made it seem like it was like extremely unachievable.
Right. Like if you have a goal, this is your goal.
Yeah,
right. But it's not here right now.
And so, and hey, in fairness, life is about financial decisions and setting yourself up in a position to understand your own reality as opposed to the one that may be imposed by somebody else that you meet.
Right.
And so there's nothing, not knocking that individual, but that individual was speaking from their own financial reality.
Right.
So we knew we wanted a community that was going to be safe because we both travel, and we wanted to make sure that.
And you have your son.
And we have a 16-year-old son, and we wanted to make sure that everyone was safe.
Right.
We also wanted to have a community that was walkable because we are, originally New Yorkers. And so we like to be able to walk and walk around in the community, et cetera. Mm-hmm. And then we wanted to be close to the activity, right? We travel a lot, so we wanted to be near the airport.
Right.
We have a number of visitors come to town, and we all know where they end up staying, so we didn't want to have to trek for 40 miles to be able to go see individuals who come to visit, right?
Family.
And then we wanted to be close to a work, right?
Yep.
And so what we found was that Spanish Trails was so centrally located.
Every single box.
I mean, it is unbelievably safe. It is. It is one of the few 24-hour guard-gated communities that exist still in the valley.
And let me jump in and say, and they have roving patrol as well.
Yes,
exactly.
And
24 hours a day.
24 hours a day, and they have surveillance. So it's actually known to be one of the safest
and they
communities.
do home checks when
I
you're
was
away.
going to say, yeah.
They do home. Now, see, I didn't know that one.
You
I didn't know that
submit a form, and you're like, I'm gone from A to B, and they'll come and do daily checks on your house. They'll check all the doors. They'll check the doors to see if they're locked. They'll send you an email if they find something, if your alarm goes off.
what is that worth to you?
Well, no, and you're connected to your alarm system is connected to the front gate, to the 3 gates. There's 3 gates, so you're connected to the guard posts in the 3 areas. There's only one area that visitors and I should say service people, the maintenance, et cetera, can come through.
Landscapers.
So it's very secure from that standpoint of knowing who's in and who's out.
No one drops in.
Nobody drops into
one's
that
dropping
community.
There's no popping by.
No, there's no popping by.
You guys aren't diving on the carpet telling each other to be quiet?
No. Nobody's knocking on my door. Yeah. They have to be in the complex. They have to be let in. They call me and they tell. I got a call 11:30 one night. Talking about, you have a delivery. I didn't answer the phone because I was asleep. He's like, wake up, the phone is ringing. I was like, not this time of night. 11:30. They won't get in tonight.
Not tonight.
And so, we came from Miami where HOA fees were very high, right? But honestly, if I'm being honest, your HOA fee was really tied to elevators. And the servicing of elevators.
Yeah, they're expensive.
That was really what you were paying for.
You got no bang for your buck.
And we were paying.
Correct.
We were paying twice that amount.
Yes.
Or more in HOA fees. So you come here, and you hear, the rate that we were paying here, and it just didn't seem as daunting. But then you add to it. It is the most green and lush area.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
oh my goodness.
At times I'm trying to do the math in my head of how they are able to keep the place so green, and ducks and geese
water
and water
features
everywhere.
Yes. So let me jump in and say that community, Spanish Trails, is one of the very few communities left in Las Vegas that is like that.
Yes.
Because it was established, back. So now the trees are 20 plus years.
They're huge.
They're
Very much so.
providing so much shade. When you drive through there, you see, like you said, the water features, ducks. Yep. So when you're taking a jog or a walk,
you see it all.
Yeah.
It's an oasis.
Oh, let me
really
stop
is.
and give a shout out real quick. This is Monique Buchanan. We are talking to the Brewsters.
Yes. Because we can talk.
And so can
absolutely.
I. So we are talking about the new listing that the Brewsters have that I am representing, and that is in the Spanish Trails Spanish Hills community.
Spanish Trails.
Why do I keep saying Hills? You know why? Because the name of their street is Mission Hills.
Yes.
Yes.
You guys can check that property out. It is 7217 Mission Hills. It is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. We're talking over 1,700 square feet, to be exact, 1,758. They have is it a den? How would you explain that area?
Oh, the sitting room.
The sitting room. That's what he calls it, a sitting room.
We're talking 18 or higher, ceilings with windows. I could see that being you have it really set
plantation
up.
shutters.
Yeah, you have it really set up really nicely, almost like a library almost, right?
Right.
But the home is, like I said, it's completely remodeled, which is unusual in that community. Not a lot of homes have been completely remodeled and updated, but this one has. All right. So also, you've got so many amenities. So that's what we're doing here on the show. If you're interested, we're going to get more into the property, 7217 Mission Hills. And we're talking about the Spanish Trails community. Very few properties come up for sale,
especially
in that
townhomes.
Community, especially under $500,000.
Especially townhomes.
This is under $500,000 is giving you access to a multi-million-dollar community.
Yes. Yes.
So let's jump back into it. Sorry. And then my number is 702-984-3700. This is Monique Buchanan. 702-984-3700. I am representing them with this listing. You can check it out on my website, welcomehomewithmonique.com, or you can jump on any platform that you so choose. 7217 Mission Hills, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, over 1,700 square feet. The first open house will be Saturday, the 24th, from noon to 4 p.m. And I will tell you that morning as well. All right, let's get back into it. So we were talking about just the landscaping of that community, right? We haven't talked about how you're jogging past $5 million homes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is true.
You know what I mean?
Very true.
Right? The king of Brunei.
Well, it's
the governor.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
So we got some rock stars that live in the area.
A lot of athletes.
A lot of athletes, yeah.
When I hear that, I hear a lot of networking opportunities.
I was just going to say
Absolutely.
Well,
absolutely.
Mr.
That's
Dr.
the king.
Brewster here.
Well, so
The
okay,
country
so,
club.
Yes,
Yeah,
the country club.
Right, they have a country club, and depending on your golf game, you can join as a
Or
as
if
a
you just
golf
like to
member,
eat.
or if you just like to eat and network like I do.
They have
you have a social
events.
you have a social membership, but you'll never be lonely. At the country club
Or hungry.
Yeah, and I mean just to give you some other elements about it. We have a wine cabinet there, so you can have your own wine cabinet.
Okay.
So you have your champagne or whatever in there.
Your
so
favorite
we have guests.
is just already there waiting for you.
Exactly. No cork fee. You just go and bring it over to the bar, entertain guests there. They have 2 dining areas and then 1 formal. So you can rent out a dining area if you want to, but also, and the whole country club has been renovated as of the last couple of years. So you're talking about a brand new place. It was renovated by the same company that owns Canyon Gate. And so it's designed under that same theme. So if you've been to Canyon Gate, then you'll see a lot of common amenities now at that country club. But then beyond that, there's this mixture of sort of the natives of Las Vegas. So you go to some of these other places, and you find yourself in a mixture. You find yourself around individuals who are transient.
Yes.
But Spanish Trails has, for whatever reason,
longevity.
Yes.
really has
longevity.
a commitment to having residents who are from the
Vegas.
area, and and it is very apparent and very present.
Well, it's very well established.
Yeah.
It really is.
It really is.
It really, really is, and it's also cool that each home is so different. You can go to different.
The architectural designs of them.
different. Yeah.
Absolutely. They don't look cookie cutter at all.
Yeah, well,
No.
you have what is it? 17 different
models.
17 different
Divisions,
communities inside
within the community.
Right, and you have some that are double gated, and some of them are just in the centralized main gate.
Right.
But each one of them is just distinct in its own way, and so as you're walking through the community, you're going through and you're seeing all these different types of homes. So it doesn't feel like you're in a cookie cutter type of community. You really do feel like you're walking through a city of sorts, right? Because you see so many different things.
And let me jump in and say this. I don't know another community you can get in there for under $500,000 with this townhome. I don't know another, and I've been doing this 10 plus years. I don't know another community as such.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's very rare that anything
unique.
comes up. Yeah.
It's unique.
Anything comes up for sale in there, it's swiped up quickly.
Especially the townhomes, because we're one of the few last townhome communities on a golf course. So, whoever can fact check me on this, but there's very, very few townhome, single floor homes on a golf course that you
I've
can
never
find.
seen it.
Yeah, and so that's that's another distinction of Spanish Trails. It was very well planned towards the future, and then add to it, like where we're located, where this unit is located, is the mixture between being proximate to the golf course, but not on the golf course.
Right.
But at the same time, you benefit from the common green space on the back end of you.
Yeah.
We've grown out some shrubs to give you privacy.
Yeah.
So you can still have that common area, but have some privacy, have some shade around your house.
You have like
It's
a
really
wraparound.
nice.
It's the wraparound.
It's a wraparound.
Goes all the way around. Yeah, it goes all the way
pergola,
around. Yep.
right out, and then you step right outside of that from the primary.
Yeah.
Now, you guys decided to do a little something different because you guys bought a house in there, and then you also bought this townhouse that we're talking about. 7217 Mission Hills is the address. You can check it out on my website, welcomehomewithmonique.com, or you can jump on any platform you so choose. Now, this is a very, very, very rare occasion that we have a property in a multi-million-dollar community where you are rubbing shoulders with these folks that are running the city. Right.
Pretty much.
Some of them, the country.
Yes.
Right.
And if you have dogs, if you have pets of any sort.
Now, why did you say that?
Because I didn't
You don't
realize
have to run on
how much
those pebbles.
I didn't realize how much grass we had till we got a dog. Like I was just like, oh, here's the grass. It's nice. It's lovely. But once we got a dog, I was like, oh, we can't get rid of this grass. It's wonderful.
No, you're right.
The dog loves it. He'll just sit in the grass and just roll around in the grass. So it is, it's a very dog and animal friendly community. Everybody walks their dogs. Everybody is friendly with
know
the dogs.
each other from walking their
people know our
dogs.
dogs more
More
than
than
they
you?
know us. They're like, oh,
I
that's
love that.
Jackson. They come running up to the dog and he just sits and lets it. So it's a very open community. Your neighbors actually speak to you.
Yes,
and
that's unusual.
not normal.
No, it's not.
That's
right?
not Vegas.
And so
No.
they check, they look out for you,
Yeah.
and so it's like. And they watch you grow. Like one lady came and she's like, "Oh my goodness, your son, he's so tall. How, when he moved, he was short. Now he's tall." And I was like, so they've seen my son grow up.
yes.
They've seen us get a dog. They've seen us transition.
It's a tight-knit community.
It really is. And they will knock on the door. And, they'll say, oh, if you're ever interested in selling, I have a friend that is dying to get in here.
Because it's hard to get in there.
It's so hard to get into this community.
Yes.
And so they are constantly like, well, my best friend wants if you let me know, I'll, so it's that kind of thing.
No, I
and as
love
long as you stay engaged, he's asked, like, do you want, nope, I'm never leaving.
I know that's
I'm
right.
never leaving. I was like, we can find a bigger house in somewhere.
But it's not the same
But
experience.
I'm not leaving
Right.
this community. Like Spanish Trails, I'm stuck. That's it.
And how much is that? See what I mean? And when you talk about HOAs, how much is that worth to you?
Everything.
I know
is.
that's right.
Everything. So one of the things that he didn't mention is if there's a problem with your roof, they will replace it. They replace it automatically every 10 years.
Oh, I am so sorry.
So, the roof is covered. Yeah, the roof is covered in the HOA.
And so when I moved, they had just replaced my roof.
Well, good. Then we're gonna go ahead and that right there is worth thousands and thousands of dollars. Just knowing that the HOA is going to replace your roof, that is not normal. They normally don't replace roofs,
And it's the tile one.
and it's the Spanish tile.
It's Spanish tiles. And
You
so
guys.
when we first moved into this unit, we had tiles that had fallen down, and my neighbor told me, "Hey, yeah, you need to tell the HOA that they'll so they can come and replace it." And so we rented in this complex before we bought, and the home that we rented in, they changed that whole roof.
Oh, wow.
So this is not a fluke. This isn't something like
that's-
we haven't seen with our own eyes. We have experienced this twice.
Well, let me tell you guys that's listening out there, honey, because I did not put that on the listing. And that will be going on the listing. But let's talk about what you guys decided to do with your property. And we only got a couple minutes. I wish we had more time.
Right. So I listed it on Furnish Finders, and we were able to lease the unit for $3,500
Wow.
a month. through Furnace Finders, just really took that tool, which only charges you a one-time fee, and then you basically keep 100% of the rent that you collect, so you don't have to pay out like some of the other platforms.
Yes, 3% for Airbnb.
But I did the work, right? So they give you leads, and I would follow up with leads, and what I would do is
they gave you leads?
Yeah, they give you leads of people who are interested in your property, and sometimes they are exact match, and sometimes they're not. And so what I would do is I had already put together like a little portfolio about the unit, and I would reach out to as many people on that list as possible.
Right.
And then the first one that hit was just so happened to be somebody international, and from Taiwan. And so I was like, hey, well, if you come, I know what it's like to travel overseas, and so I'll have food ready for you when you first show up. I'll make sure that you don't have to worry about that first day, and use valuable travel time working on things that you are not associated with you having a good time.
Right.
And so that just kind of took off, and then we had a group from Alaska, and even right now, as we sell, I just got an offer, just to tell you how like rapid fire it is. I got an offer for January already of next year.
Oh, wow.
So there is an opportunity with this unit beyond just the purchase.
Regular,
and it can be lucrative, and especially when you start thinking about all of these diverse markets that are already traveling to Las Vegas, who are now not just seeing Las Vegas as a place for casinos and gambling, who are looking for that outdoor experience, who are looking for the golf course getaway and things like that. Be able to have them come to a central place that's safe,
very safe. Yeah.
And so. Granted, I had to rent it at a minimum of 30 days, but that was never a problem for us.
You told me typically they wanted it for 3 and 4 months.
Yeah, we had 3 and 4 months, easy, no problem.
And then you guys are near the Durango Casino, the new Durango Casino, the airport. You're near the Strip. You're near the Raider Stadium. You're near
nothing is more
3
than
minutes from the hospital.
Yeah.
3 minutes from
and
a big hospital.
Yeah, Spring Valley Hospital's right there.
Exactly. And so even with all the building that's happening around us, there's nothing like what Spanish Trails is, and people recognize that. People want that sort of couture look to where they live and stay. But most important, I have to always tell people this, is that if you're that person who's in your 40s and 50s and you're looking at the home that you're about to make a 20, 30-year investment in, you have to be thinking about, do I need a home that's going to have me climbing two and 3 flights of stairs? And so you can grow into this home in a way whereby you don't have to worry about, I'm going to have to make yet another purchase after this happens. And so that's all those other things that you need to begin to think about also is how long are you going to be able to stay there? Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And that's a real thing right there. I get a lot of my clients, I have to sell their property because they did buy it and it is a 2-story and now they can't do the stairs. Yeah. But besides that, you guys, that address again is 7217 Mission Hills. And that is in the Spanish Trails community here in Las Vegas. Like you said, guard gated 24/7. You've got the patrol 24/7. You said when you go out of town, you tell them and they come check on your house.
Checks.
Peace of mind. Can't
My
put a price
goodness.
on that.
Tennis courts, weight room.
Pickleball.
Four pools.
4 pools.
Country club.
Club.
Restaurant that you can order from.
Yep.
And not even have to leave the guard gated community.
They'll deliver.
They'll deliver
to your house. My good. Yeah. So anyway, 7217 Mission Hills. And did I mention it's under $500,000? So there you go, guys. That open house is going to be Saturday, May 24th from 12 to 4 p.m. if it lasts until then. 7217 Mission Hills. Brewsters, I just love you guys.
Thank you. We love you
and
too.
I appreciate your guys' support all these years. You've always had my back.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys for coming on and just sharing your experience and living in that community.
Yes.
Cheryl, you said you're never leaving?
Never.
Okay, well, there you go, Lou.
There you go.
All
We
right.
might move to another house.
Right, within the community.
Spanish Trails.
I could see that.
I'm never leaving Spanish
But you're never
Trails.
leaving that. Okay, I got you. And I don't blame you. All right. Well, until we hear from you, have a blessed weekend.